Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today, I'm going to be revisiting a project I started a couple years ago and never finished. Why am I returning to this project? Well, because I want to finish it, but also I'm still struggling to smell and taste things. I'm so grateful they are coming back, these senses of mine. If you've missed this little update, back during holiday break, my family and I got COVID and I lost my sense of taste and smell. But luckily, we are 2-3 weeks in, things are returning and I am so grateful. I can smell coffee, I can smell onions frying, and I can taste things, but limitedly. I don't have my full range of taste yet, but it's okay because it is returning and I am so grateful for that. I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to return to this project, and it is making a glossy, chromy, shiny ball out of aluminum foil. Now, this is a project that got popular here on the YouTubes probably about 4 years ago, and it all started, from my understanding, from a Japanese show where a fellow took a ball of aluminum foil and crunched it all together, you know, like you do after you finish a sandwich, and proceeded to take a hammer and pound on the ball to compress the aluminum foil into a tighter ball, and then proceeded to polish the ball until it had a gorgeous mirror-like finish. So other channels have also done this. I believe Threadbanger did this. Good old Rob tackled this project a while back, and I tackled it as well, but I never completed it. So this was a perfect time for me to complete it, and I was successful. So let me show you the entire process on how to do it. In fact, I'll show you the very, very beginnings. The first thing you're going to need, two basic things: a hammer and some aluminum foil. You don't need a ball peen hammer, which this happens to be. It's just what I've got. Any old hammer will do. Same thing goes for aluminum foil. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. We also need some surface to hammer on. Oops. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be the last of my foil. Are you kidding me? Okay, this is gonna be a very small example. Anyways, we're gonna take some foil and crumple it up. And you will have a foil ball. Now, the beautiful thing about aluminum foil, it is very malleable and relatively soft and very light. It's not going to be perfect, and that's how you know that this was made by hand. And now this is step one of the very kind of labor intensive part, but I have to say this is really kind of meditative, this whole process. And you just begin tapping this into a ball, a tighter ball. Just notice there's a little flap of foil here. Don't worry, just keep pounding that down. I had a very pesky piece of foil that was like this, and it was driving me bonkers because I thought, there's no way I'm gonna get a smooth surface when this little piece won't sit down. It will. You just have to be super patient. Continue compressing the ball and just using the hammer to pack it down. And you will do this for hours. If you tackle this project, it will take you many days and many hours, but that's the whole part of this project, the process of seeing the transformation of this to something gorgeously shiny and beautiful. But it will take a while, and you may curse a little bit, you may complain a little bit, but you will be rewarded if you take the time to make it happen. Metaphor for life, right? So here's our grind, here's our pounding, here's our day-to-day, and it's not perfect, right? It isn't, but we try to make it perfect. And it is beautiful in all stages. And it's wonderful to remember where we came from, right? Our very humble beginnings to our beautiful finish, which is never quite finished, as you will see in my finished product. It's important to turn it constantly because we are trying our best to keep the ball round. I find when you're working with smaller things, it's a bit harder to polish and stuff because you have smaller grip. So I would definitely recommend making a bigger ball if you choose to make this. Once we've done that, and it is very, 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 very firm and tight, we begin the polishing process. And this is what's going to make the ball nice and shiny. But it must be very, 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 very compact and solid before we start polishing it. We don't want this to crumble apart, right? So take the time, just embrace the struggle if you do this. And you can put on a podcast, you can put on some music. I found I was doing this at night after my kids were asleep, and just spending a couple hours working on this little ball was really actually very, very enjoyable. It reminded me a lot of the dorodango process. If you saw that video, in case you missed it, I'll put a link down to that video below, and it's a process of taking mud or clay and shaping it into a beautiful, shiny sphere. Dorodango is a Japanese word, and it's a beautiful, beautiful process. In fact, I have some mud from our friend's pond, and I want to make another dorodango. I have this idea that if I collect clay from different areas, and I can make several dorodangos from different places that I love. This is a dorodango, and it's gorgeous, shiny, it looks planetary, and this was made from clay just like this that I gathered. And it's a long, tedious process of polishing and shaping this ball and rubbing it, and it develops this really gorgeous, shiny patina simply from being polished. I use a glass jar, and that's what gives it that perfect sphere shape. Although, if you look closely, it is not perfect at all. There's blemishes, there's parts that are not smooth, but it looks so beautiful. I love it so much. This is made from just local clay, and it's just nice little keepsake. And all it is a ball of clay that has been loved a great deal. So that's what our aluminum ball project is, right? Now, let's describe the sanding process. We're going to start with the coarsest grit with sandpaper. The smaller the number, the more gritty it is, the more rough. And we need to start with the roughest first. If you start with the very fine stuff, you'll never get to where you need to be. So very incremental process. I also wore gloves, and I used water to reduce any dust. It's probably a good idea to wear a dust mask too. We'll take our sandpaper and kind of gently start sanding and working out all of those fine foil ridges out. It's a very tedious process. You'll notice lots of little pits, little imperfections, cracks and crevices. Do not fret, even places again where the foil wants to lift up. Just keep sanding and rubbing all different directions, holding that ball. Take breaks. And again, I definitely recommend using some water. Do the wet sanding technique until the sandpaper feels pretty worn and you don't see any noticeable changes happening. That means that you've used up the potential in this kind of grit and you're ready to go to the next one. I recommend not rushing this progression either. It just takes time to get the surface to where you need it. Just surrender and just take the time it needs to make this happen. Maybe it'll be a couple more hours, maybe it'll be more hours, and don't look at it in terms of how long is this going to take me. You're just going to do it until it's done. Here's some of the sandpaper collection that I used for this project. It's all the way from 400, 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000. So after many, many hours and many days of polishing and hammering, this is where I'm at. Look, isn't it beautiful? Oh my gosh, look at that. Look how beautiful that. I am so proud of my little sphere. All those pits and scars, all the imperfections that let you know that this was handmade. This is not even perfectly round. You'll see that it's a little bit flat on some spots. I love it, yet it is glossy and shiny and I can see my reflection. So the last step I'm going to do is use a little bit of metal polish. I know that there's very specific polishes for aluminum, but this is what I was able to find at the hardware store, and it lists aluminum on here. I remember this product from when I was a kid. My dad had a coin collection and he would use it to remove the tarnish off the pennies. So I'm using a little bit of this Brasso on my cloth. This is an old t-shirt, and I'm going to spread it on the ball, and it's going to make it go cloudy. Rub it in, and then with, whoops, that was my phone, and it is removing some of the aluminum. That's what that is. So cool. Oh my gosh, it's so great. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Completed. It took me over 2 years to get it done, but here we are. That's sort of how it goes with life. Sometimes we have to leave them and come back to them in order to finish them, but finishing them feels so very good. And yes, I got confirmation that this process is absolutely possible, even though I saw videos of other people making these. It was really great to tackle the project myself and actually have the experience of converting something like this into something like this. Alrighty, my lovelies, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. I love hearing from you. Your suggestions are so great. I learned so many great things from you. Like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! The question is, do I continue with this one to make it